There is a version of you that is weak, that gives in to comfort, that avoids hard conversations, that scrolls instead of working, that chooses the easy path every single time. And there is another version of you, the version that wakes up before the alarm, that does the thing it fears, that holds the line when everything inside screams to quit. The distance between these two versions of you is not talent, it is not luck, it is not circumstance, it is discipline. And for over 2,000 years, the Stoic philosophers have been teaching the exact rules that close that gap. These are not motivational platitudes. These are battle-tested principles from men who led empires, endured slavery, and faced death with clear eyes. These are 7 rules that, if you follow them, will systematically destroy every weakness inside you. Rule number 1. Control your morning, or the world will control your day. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, woke up every morning and had a conversation with himself. Before he spoke to a single senator, before he reviewed a single military report, before the weight of the empire landed on his shoulders, he prepared his mind. He wrote, quote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." End quote. But he didn't stop there. He also wrote, quote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do?" End quote. This is not gentle encouragement. This is a command. Get up. You have work to do. The comfort of your bed is not your friend. It is the first test of the day, and if you fail it, you've already set the tone for everything that follows. Weak people negotiate with their alarm clock. They bargain for 5 more minutes, then 10, then 20. They start the day in retreat, giving ground to their lowest impulses before they've even opened their eyes. Strong people understand that the morning is a battle. Win it, and momentum carries you forward. Lose it, and you spend the rest of the day trying to recover ground you never should have given up. Rule number 2. Do the hard thing first. Always. Seneca observed that most people structure their days in exactly the wrong order. They handle the easy, pleasant tasks first and push the difficult ones to later. But later never comes, or when it does, their energy is depleted and their willpower is gone. He wrote, quote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." End quote. The hard thing sitting on your to-do list is not hard because of what it requires. It is hard because you are afraid of it. And every hour you avoid it, the fear grows. It feeds on your procrastination. It gets heavier, not lighter, with time. The Stoic approach is brutally simple. Identify the thing you least want to do, the conversation you're avoiding, the project you keep postponing, the workout you keep skipping, and do it first, before email, before social media, before anything else. When you do the hardest thing before 9 in the morning, something remarkable happens. The rest of the day feels effortless by comparison. You've already proven to yourself that you can override your impulses. That proof compounds. Do it enough days in a row, and you become a different person. Rule number 3. Make discomfort your teacher, not your enemy. The Stoics had a practice that modern culture would consider insane. They deliberately sought discomfort. Seneca would fast for days. He would wear rough clothing. He would sleep on hard ground, not because he enjoyed suffering, but because he understood that comfort is a cage. He wrote, quote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" End quote. The logic is devastating. If you never experience discomfort voluntarily, you become terrified of it. And a person who is terrified of discomfort is controlled by it. They can't have an honest conversation because confrontation is uncomfortable. They can't start a business because uncertainty is uncomfortable. They can't leave a bad relationship because being alone is uncomfortable. Their entire life becomes an elaborate avoidance strategy. But when you practice discomfort on purpose, something shifts. You realize the thing you feared is survivable. More than survivable. It's clarifying. Cold showers, hard workouts, difficult conversations, fasting, waking up early, sitting in silence with your own thoughts. These are not punishments. They are training. Every time you choose discomfort, you expand the territory of what you can handle. Your comfort zone doesn't shrink. It becomes irrelevant. And when real hardship comes, and it will come, you won't be shattered by it. You'll have been training for it your entire life. Rule number 4, guard your mind like a fortress. Marcus Aurelius wrote, quote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." End quote. Your mind is the most valuable thing you possess. It is the lens through which you experience all of reality. And most people leave it completely unguarded. They let anyone and anything walk through the gates. Toxic people, negative news, mindless entertainment, outrage algorithms designed to hijack their attention and sell it to advertisers. Epictetus was even more direct. He said, quote, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." End quote. Your reactions are determined by what you feed your mind. Feed it garbage, and it produces garbage reactions. Feed it wisdom, and it produces wise responses. The Stoic rule is this: treat your attention as your most precious resource, because it is. Every piece of content you consume, every conversation you engage in, every thought you entertain is either building your mind or eroding it. There is no neutral input. Audit your inputs ruthlessly. What are you reading? What are you watching? Who are you listening to? Who are you spending time with? If the answer to any of these questions makes you weaker, more anxious, more distracted, or more cynical, then you have a breach in your fortress. Seal it. Your mind is not a public square. It is a citadel, and you are the gatekeeper. Rule number 5. Judge yourself by your actions, not your feelings. This is perhaps the most misunderstood aspect of Stoicism. The Stoics did not suppress emotions. Marcus Aurelius felt fear. Seneca felt grief. Epictetus felt anger. They were human. What they refused to do was let those emotions dictate their behavior. Marcus wrote, quote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." End quote. He didn't say feel like a good man. He said be one. The distinction is everything. Weak people wait until they feel motivated to act. They wait until they feel confident to speak. They wait until they feel ready to begin. And they spend their entire lives waiting. Because the feeling never comes first. It can't. Confidence comes from action, not before it. Motivation comes from momentum, not before it. The Stoic approach is to separate the feeling from the action completely. You can feel afraid and still act with courage. You can feel lazy and still do the work. You can feel uncertain and still make the decision. The feeling is just weather. Your actions are your climate. Epictetus taught this to his students relentlessly. He told them that a philosopher is not someone who has conquered their emotions. It is someone who acts rightly regardless of their emotions. That is what strength looks like. Not the absence of weakness, but the refusal to be governed by it. Rule number 6. Own everything that happens to you. There is a moment that separates the strong from the weak, and it happens every time something goes wrong. In that moment, you have two choices. You can look outward for someone to blame, or you can look inward for something to learn. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, war, betrayal, and the death of his children. He could have blamed the gods, his enemies, or fate itself. Instead, he wrote, quote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." End quote. Everything that happens to you is material. It is raw material for growth. The betrayal teaches you who to trust. The failure teaches you what to fix. The rejection teaches you what to improve, but only if you own it. Only if you refuse the seductive comfort of victimhood. Blaming others is the fastest way to guarantee you stay weak, because when you blame, you give away your power. You are saying that your life is determined by forces outside your control, and if that's true, then you are helpless. You are a leaf in the wind. The Stoics rejected this entirely. They taught radical ownership. Everything in your life, the good and the bad, is yours, your responsibility. Not because the world is fair, it's not, but because taking responsibility is the only path that leads to power, the only path that leads to change, the only path that leads to strength. Rule number 7. Remember, you will die. The Stoics called this memento mori, and it is not morbid. It is the most liberating practice in all of philosophy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, quote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." End quote. Most people live as though they have infinite time. They postpone everything important. They tolerate mediocrity. They stay in situations that drain them. They avoid risks that could transform them, all because, somewhere in the back of their mind, they believe there will always be more time. There won't. Seneca hammered this point harder than any other philosopher. He wrote, quote, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." End quote. You are terrified of small risks, but utterly careless with the greatest risk of all, wasting your limited time on earth. When you truly internalize the fact that you will die, that this day could be your last, everything changes. The petty arguments become meaningless. The fear of failure becomes absurd, because failing while trying is infinitely better than never trying at all. The things you've been putting off become urgent, not someday. Today, right now. Memento mori is not a threat. It is a gift. It strips away every illusion, every excuse, every comfortable lie you tell yourself. And what remains is pure clarity. What matters, who matters, and how little time you have to act on it. 7 rules. Control your morning. Do the hard thing first. Make discomfort your teacher. Guard your mind like a fortress. Judge yourself by your actions, not your feelings. Own everything that happens to you. Remember, you will die. These are not ideas to think about. They are practices to live by. Starting today. Starting now. The Stoics understood something that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Weakness is not a condition. It is a choice. Every day, in 1,000 small ways, you choose to be strong, or you choose to be weak. You choose discipline, or you choose comfort. You choose growth, or you choose stagnation. Marcus Aurelius chose strength every single day for 19 years as emperor, while facing plague, war, and unimaginable personal loss. Epictetus chose strength as a slave, with no freedom, no rights, and no one to believe in him. Seneca chose strength in exile, stripped of everything he had built. If they could do it under those circumstances, you can do it under yours. The weakness inside you is not permanent. It is a habit, and habits can be broken, one morning at a time, one hard thing at a time, one uncomfortable choice at a time. Start now. The Stoics are